The rice industry remains under looming threat of economic turmoil amid a request by businessman Jack Charles to import bulk grain from Guyana for retail at a lower cost. That expression of interest is of grave concern to local producers who have found themselves in the middle of a potential crisis involving the existing total per pound of rice. The immediate point of reference to contextualize this story is the importation of 3.2 million pounds of white rice from Guyana in 2014, following a crop failure experienced by growers during that year. Chair of the Belize agro-productive sector, a group which includes several large producers, is Dr. Henry Canton.
At that point in time, we decided that we were going to be proactive and approach government, saying that because we're the producers of rice, what we wanted to do was to have the right to import the rice and package it and send it into the same distribution channels that we had. We had many meetings negotiating with government, and rice was brought in at a quoted price of about 63 cents from Guyana. It was brought in specifically into Circle R, and then Circle R was going to do what they had to do with the rice to prepare it, and if any community was short, Circle R was going to supply those communities with rice for them to have their distribution system unbroken.
The introduction of that tonnage came with additional costs, primarily due to the reprocessing of what would otherwise be contaminated rice.
The rice came in loose in a container, and we could have put that rice on the market, but we have to keep in mind that we like to guarantee a product that the consumer accepts. We can't just put whatever product on the shelf and expect the consumer to buy it, right? We had to take the rice to the mill and we processed it. It was processed white rice, but it needed further cleaning, packaging, bagging, whatever else, right?
As seen here, grain imported from Guyana included a number of impurities.
First of all, there was a lot of shells in the rice, which had to be graded out. We have buckets of screws and nails and rocks and dirt and filth that came out that I'm sure no consumer would like to see in their bag of rice when it hits the shelf. So in the reputation that we have, we would like to keep the reputation, and therefore we had to further process that rice to guarantee the consumer a safe product on the shelf.
The supplementary charge for the processing of imported rice brings the cost to well within the controlled price of 90 cents per pound. The significant markup then takes place at the retail level, where profit margins are seemingly unchecked.
There is a price control on the productive side of this thing, but not on the retail side, and I think that's really where the problem is. You can sell rice for whatever price you want, I understand. So the person that is supposedly importing this current amount of rice that we're talking about really is not a retailer.
The importation through the Belize Marketing and Development Corporation was done to ensure that there wouldn't be a paucity of rice and that prices would remain constant at the wholesale level.
So what we were trying to do is to make sure that there was not a shortage in rice, but we were insistent that the people who import rice has to be the producers of rice. And it was government's job, and that's why they brought it in through BMDC, to make sure that we don't bring in rice at a price that's going to affect the market substantively. Because the rice we brought in was rice that we had to bring in that fitted within the category of the price that we were selling rice for at that point in time.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isanika.